sometimes you book a trip and have amazing plans, and then life happens and things change.
This video is a little different. Instead of an excursion or a trip or a review, we're here to talk about a real life occurrence where we had a family event, an emergency come up just 2-3 days before we cruised. We weren't sure if we were out a lot of money, but let's go see how this all played out.
Hi, I'm Crystal.
And I'm Marshall.
And welcome back to the channel. If you're new here or if you just haven't subscribed yet, please do. It really does help our channel.
Sometimes life throws you a curveball. This was a pitch we didn't see coming and has never happened to us. About 3 days beforehand, we got a call that one of our kids needed to go in for surgery, or was sick and ultimately had to go in for surgery. Like any parent, we went. We dropped everything and went, and we knew we had a cruise coming that we probably wouldn't take, but that was secondary.
First, let me say that our child is okay, fully recovered, everything's okay, but it was a shock. They were at the emergency room, and then the very next thing we hear is the surgeon says that I'll be in the OR in less than an hour. So that was very scary. We didn't know what was wrong. So yeah, you just drop everything and go. And that's what we did.
After things settled down, we were like, okay, we aren't going to make this cruise. We still need to be there for a while. And we started, with everything settled, we started to think methodically, what do we need to cancel? Is there any chance of getting a refund? And luckily we had done some pre-planning and thought process in case this ever happened. So we did very well on that account.
The first thing we did was we had booked excursions. We just canceled those. We knew we'd get our money back immediately. If you do ever need to say you want to book an excursion and rebook something else or whatever, you get your money back immediately. So that was the first thing we did. So we got back all that money right away.
The second thing we did was look at the smaller pieces that you don't always think of, but we had pre-booked. So we were sailing out of Tampa, which requires, or they recommend, booking your parking beforehand. So that was an easy call, and they were really very good. And within a day, it showed up as a refund. So another thing to check off that we weren't out money.
And because we had never canceled a cruise before, we didn't know how it all worked. So Marshall actually called Royal Caribbean, or did you chat online?
I think we called.
Yeah. So you called, and what did they tell you?
Well, they said, well, first of all, they were very apologetic that this happened to us. And there was really nothing for us to do because it was in such a close window. Not only would we not get our money back, but really we wound up being considered a no-show. And so they apologized. They said we would get our port fees and taxes back, but the actual cruise fare, that was not something that could be refunded. And we understood that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised that we would even get our port fees and taxes back right away. So, because we were already on the manifest.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. So far, everything is going better than expected or as expected. But the largest amount of money was that cruise fare. So that's when we looked a little bit further in some of the programs that we've enrolled in.
Yeah, so you may have seen or may not have seen, whatever, we will link it below. We have a video where we talk about how we cruise for free using credit card points. So we have the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And one of the benefits that we talked about in that video that we had never used before was trip insurance.
Trip insurance, cancellation insurance, it's all the same thing. It's trip protection for events like this.
So you checked with the company, credit card company, found out what paperwork we needed to file. And first of all, it needed a doctor's statement from her surgeon that there was a situation, that it was real, that You know, we weren't just making stuff up. So that was easy because he was actually really, really great. And he said it happens all the time,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So he filled out all the paperwork without an issue. And you filed the paperwork with the credit card company.
Yes, I do want to say there's a lot of paperwork, but with the Chase Reserve card and the company they go to manage this, it's done online. There's a list that they send you and you upload it, and sometimes it's not quite what they want. So there is communication back and forth. It is not daily. It takes them a few days to review it. So this process wasn't something that took less than a week. It was a few weeks, but you knew where you stood when you were filing the paperwork.
So through the program, through the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, they did end up refunding our entire cruise fare.
Yes, it's really nice that we invested, because this card does have a yearly fee, invested in this for things like what just happened. It also has other insurances. It has emergency medical insurance and a whole host of other things that we hope we'll never use. But in this case in point, it's glad we have it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, life happens sometimes, and it's really was an unfortunate situation, and we're just glad our child is okay, and we're also grateful to have received all the money back. Obviously, we wouldn't have changed anything even if we didn't get the money back, but it was such a great benefit to have that credit card with that protection on it.
Well, we would be fine if we lost the money, because, priorities are priorities. But I will also tell you, I think our child felt better knowing that she didn't cause us to lose money or anything like that. Really not an issue, but I will say that having the insurance certainly reimburses us, but makes everyone involved just feel that much better.
If you are looking for a new credit card with some additional benefits, or just want to add an additional one to your repertoire, we would highly recommend the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, and you have a link that we can share to it, right?
Yeah, we'll put it down in the description.
Hopefully you won't have a situation that would require that, but it is nice to know that it's there just in case.
And that it works. A lot of credit cards say they have these programs. We can vouch that this one works, and works well.
If you found this video helpful, go ahead, please give it a thumbs up. We know that doesn't mean you're saying, yeah, you had a family emergency, but yeah, it was helpful to you. Thanks for watching.
Yes, take care and safe travels.